Hello, my name is Kaylee Damerel, and this is my Advice to Me presentation. When first reading through the assignment, I was a little off-put by how it was advice to our 10-year-old self. I love the idea behind it. For me personally, my 10th year of existing was a really big one. It was very influential. I had my father move down to the valley here. I was born and raised in Washington State, so he moved down here when I was 10 years old, and I was living with him at the time, and so when he decided to move down here, I had to move in with my mom. So it was a different location and new school, and being 10 years old, the beginning of all the fun teen years almost, it was difficult for sure. So when I was making my list of advice, it is things I have to remind myself quite often, but I definitely would give my 10-year-old self starting at a new school, making new friends, and just the journey that I went on. Just these are some things that 10-year-old Kaylee should be equipped with. The 10th piece of advice would have to be to eat food. I know it sounds simple, and to maybe some people it's like well, yeah, why wouldn't you? But sometimes eating food is very hard, so I would say to make sure you do not skip those meals as often as you do, and to make sure you do eat because it helps you and fuels you to do the things that you are meant to do in this world. 9th piece of advice, always watch out for negative situations. My dad likes to kind of sum it up in a phrase saying, keep your head on a swivel. I keep that near and dear to my heart just because it's true. Just always looking around and just being aware of those negative situations, whether it's hanging out with new people or going somewhere new, anything like that. Just always keep your head on a swivel. Number 8, try new things. This might also be a no duh to some people. Personally, having a lot of anxiety, especially growing up in this situation, trying new things is so scary. Even just allowing that thought into your brain sometimes is just way too much. But when you try new things, you really figure out what you enjoy and what you like to do in the world. By trying a new thing, mine was water polo. My sophomore year, I started. My freshman year, my best friend Allison was trying to get me to join, and I just couldn't get myself around it. But my sophomore year, I did it, assuming I'd be the worst on the team and just wouldn't get it. But I still signed up, and through a few years of dedication and just truly falling in love with this new thing, I did become my school's water polo captain in a huge leadership position on the team, which is something I hold very highly of myself. So trying new things is good. You're able to figure out what you like a little bit better. My 6th piece of advice would be that despite how you feel or maybe how people make you feel, you are surrounded by love. People love you, people want to be around you, so love is always around you. You don't have to worry about a lack of love. Number 5, this roots from a personal insecurity of not being smart enough. So the 5th piece of advice would be that you are smart enough and capable enough to do anything that you please. Intelligence comes in multiple forms. It's hard to directly define what being smart is, but the capabilities and intelligence that you are equipped with is enough. My 4th piece of advice would be allow your thoughts to flow. With having some anxiety, it's easy to get super tangled into your thoughts, and it becomes this big mess of messes, and just it gets very hard. And so allowing your thoughts to kind of enter in and exit as they please is a very important skill to have. It helps, it kind of cleans things up. It makes mental health a lot happier. Just allowing those thoughts to flow in and out is just a very important thing that I think as a 10-year-old would be great to start then. Number 3, enjoy the moments. As you get wrapped up in your anxiety, sometimes it's really hard to be in that moment as much as you want to be. So as you go on to your adventures and you see beautiful things or you hear beautiful things, just remember to be in that moment, that all those other thoughts will be there when you come back, but just enjoy what you can when you can. And my second piece of advice would be that depression is like quicksand. You struggle a little bit, and as you're like maybe getting deeper into thoughts, it's harder to get yourself out of those thoughts, and you kind of sink more into the quicksand. But over time and with help, you will be able to get out. Quicksand will not keep you in there forever. It is something that when you get out, you need to remember the lessons that it gave you and to use those as you go forward. You could get in quicksand again, and if you do, you will get out. Things do end. Situations get better. Whatever the case may be, a negative mindset will end, as much as it feels like it won't. So, my first and most important piece of advice to my 10-year-old self would be to love yourself and to love your family. Loving yourself is very difficult. It takes years and years to be okay with the thought of that, let alone actually actively loving yourself and showing it and being able to exercise thoughts and feelings that you have about yourself and to express them. But through loving yourself, it's just an amazing opportunity to be able to do what you want to do and be okay with it. With your family, they will always be a support system, always listen to stories, always be there for family, because they will do the same for you, and they will definitely help you on your journey to loving yourself as much as you love them. So those are my 10 pieces of advice to my 10-year-old self. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to reflect on this time in my life. So I hope you guys liked it.